Early one morning, Anna is startled awake when her young son, Jane, suddenly appears beside her in bed. Full of energy, he excitedly asks her to take him swimming so they can dive together in the pool. Still half asleep, Anna gently reminds him that she has to go to work and that he needs to go to kindergarten. Just then, a deafening roll of thunder shakes the building, prompting Anna to get up and look outside. Heavy rain is pouring down, and water is already collecting along the street below. Even so, Anna decides the situation doesn't yet justify changing her normal routine. She begins preparing breakfast while dealing with Jane's playful but irritating behavior. Her mother calls to check if everything is alright, but Anna reassures her that there's nothing to worry about. While cooking, Anna hears an unfamiliar splashing sound and assumes it's coming from the bathroom. When she turns around, she's horrified to see water spreading rapidly across the apartment floor. Outside, floodwaters have risen so high that they are now level with her window. A loud announcement from the building management warns residents that floodwaters have reached the second floor in several buildings and the third floor in others. Everyone affected must immediately evacuate upward, as the elevators are no longer functioning. Jane keeps shouting and jumping around, begging to play, until Anna finally loses her patience and places him on the table, scolding him for not listening. She hurriedly begins packing essential items, only to notice that water is already creeping up her legs. At that moment, she receives a call from a security agent employed by her company. He tells her he's coming to get her and insists she stop packing and move upstairs immediately with Jane. The call abruptly cuts out as the electricity fails throughout the building. Anna quickly grabs a small bag to store Jane's medication and searches the apartment for him. She finds him hiding in a closet. Upset and scared, realizing she was too harsh, she apologizes and persuades him to come out by offering to carry him on her back. When they step into the hallway, they see neighbors fleeing their apartments with luggage in hand. Anna weaves through the crowd, desperate to reach the stairwell, but finds it completely jammed with panicked residents who refuse to move. Overwhelmed, Anna runs in the opposite direction and notices that nearby buildings are suffering the same fate. She reaches an emergency staircase and begins climbing upward. As Jane points out people swimming below them, Anna sings softly to keep him calm. After ascending several floors, she's crushed to discover the stairway blocked by debris. She sets Jane down and tries to climb over the obstacles, but her footing slips and she nearly falls. Though she manages to steady herself, the sight of lifeless bodies floating in the water below makes the danger painfully clear, and she decides to turn back. On another floor, people are entering nearby apartments just to use the bathrooms. Anna suddenly hears her name and spots the company's security agent searching for her. She's about to run toward him when she realizes Jane has wandered off with the crowd into one of the apartments. She rushes inside, frantically calling for her son, only to freeze when she sees an enormous wave rushing toward the window. The sight triggers a traumatic memory of being trapped underwater in a car with her husband, Gawain. The wave crashes through the glass, violently flooding the room and knocking people aside. Anna drops her bag and tries to swim after it, but it's swept out through the shattered window. Desperate for air, she surfaces briefly in a narrow pocket beneath the ceiling before diving again to search for Jane. In another room, she finds him unconscious and immediately pulls him toward the exit. The door won't open no matter how hard she pushes, and Anna loses consciousness. Moments later, the security agent, Hijo, forces the door open and revives her. Together, they escape the apartment, swim upward, and climb over a balcony railing back into the corridor. Hijo performs CPR on Jane, successfully reviving him. The boy clings to his mother, sobbing. Hijo records the rescue and sends proof to the company that their lead researcher has survived. As they continue upward, Jane admits that the flooding reminds him of the day his father drowned in their submerged car. While climbing, Hijo explains that a company helicopter is on its way. He reveals that an asteroid struck Antarctica hours earlier, melting massive amounts of ice that are now flooding the planet. The government knew but stayed silent, knowing the impact was unavoidable and humanity's extinction imminent. Stunned, Anna listens as Hijo explains that her company isn't merely developing artificial intelligence. Its true purpose is to engineer a successor to humanity. Only 2 people worked on the emotion engine, Anna and her boss, Hyun Mo, who reportedly died in the flood along with her child. Anna protests that the emotion engine was incomplete, but Hijo dismisses her concerns. Other teams have already finished creating artificial human bodies with intelligence and reproductive capability. Emotions are the final missing component. Their conversation is cut short when Jane announces he needs to use the bathroom, forcing them into a nearby apartment. Anna borrows Hijo's phone to call her mother and tell her she loves her. Suddenly, a rumbling sound echoes through the walls, and a gas pipe explodes in the kitchen. Gas rapidly fills the apartment, and they flee into the hallway. Explosions ripple through neighboring apartments as fire spreads along the corridor. Hijo climbs onto a balcony railing to reach the next floor, and Anna tries to hand Jane to him. Jane panics and clings to her, causing Anna to lose balance and fall into the water below. Reliving memories of the car accident, Anna manages to surface and cling to a sign. She swims back toward the building and hears a child named Jisoo crying from inside an elevator. She desperately tries to pry open the doors but fails, then runs upstairs searching for a tool. She encounters looters discussing violence and flees in fear. When she returns, the water has nearly submerged the elevator, and Jisoo no longer responds. Another massive wave crashes into the building, dragging Anna underwater once more. She recalls breaking the car window years ago and Gawain urging her to swim ahead with Jane. Too weak to continue, he handed their son to her and stayed behind. Back in the present, Anna emerges on the stairs and rushes to reunite with Jane and Hijo. Jane grows weak and needs his medication, which Anna lost earlier. Determined, she carries him into another apartment and improvises a traditional remedy from kitchen ingredients. A flashback shows Anna admitting to Hyunmo that she wanted to give Jane up, believing she was unfit to be a mother. Hyunmo reassures her and confirms the emotion engine is complete, questioning whether creating children was a mistake. Back in the present, Jane recovers and admits he likes being sick because it earns him his mother's attention. Outside, the storm suddenly clears, and sunlight appears. Hijo explains Anna will be taken to a shelter, but Jane will not. He reveals he's observing her choices for the future of the new human race and confesses his own mother abandoned him. Rain suddenly returns, and water rises rapidly again. As they race upstairs, Anna notices a pregnant couple pleading for help, but Hijo forces her to keep moving. Jane asks if she felt the same fear when pregnant, causing Anna to break down. On the rooftop, Hijo reads company orders. Anna must complete the emotion engine to prevent extinction. Guard sees Jane, now labeled Jane Newman 77, restraining Anna as they take him away. Hijo reveals Hyunmo survived and chose death over abandoning her child. Jane is sedated, his hair shaved, and Anna begs to keep him just a little longer. The guards reveal there is no shelter and execute Hijo. Jane's data is extracted, and his body discarded. Only Anna is taken aboard the helicopter. As the world floods, rockets carrying scientists escape Earth. A recorded message explains that meteorite fragments will soon wipe out remaining life. Artificial humanity must evolve. Anna proposes a simulation to rapidly generate emotional data by repeatedly forcing a mother to fight to save her child. As the meteorites approach, Anna enters the simulation and awakens once more in her flooded apartment. This time, knowing what will happen, she grabs the medicine and warns Jane not to follow strangers. Jane cries, questioning why he is always 6 years old. Ignoring this, Anna runs toward the stairs as another massive wave strikes. She reaches the corridor, loses sight of Jane, and spots him struggling in the flood below. She jumps in, but the current overpowers her. Seeing the helicopter, she feels Jane's goggles in her pocket. A floating car slams into her, killing her instantly and resetting the simulation.
And chooses to stay with them. After a phone call from the company, Hijo informs Anna that his team will come with a boat to search the entire building for Jane. Anna remembers how the kid was cut open and is determined to find him first, so she keeps looking through every floor. This is now simulation 7993. As Anna continues her search, she notices the security agents shooting the looters. On the next floor, she finds a child's drawings on a wall and remembers how Jane used to love drawing on her tablet. She keeps on moving and discovers that the pregnant lady has given birth, so she helps her hold the baby and gives them her jacket. On her way out, she sees the husband come back with warm water to wash his child. It makes Anna feel guilty about all the time she ignored Jane, and she remembers that he would always send his drawings to her phone. She immediately checks her phone and is devastated to find thousands of drawings of her abandoning Jane before leaving in the chopper. At that moment Hijo yells from the other floor saying he's found Jane. She immediately runs to reunite with them, but when she enters the apartment, the agents jump on her from behind to capture her. Hijo tells her they'll wake her up on the roof to say goodbye, and Anna reminds him that he dies on the roof every time. It's then revealed that this is simulation number 13,417. When Hijo tries to ask for more details, the agents kick him out. On his way back, Joe finally sees glimpses of the previous runs. He grabs a trophy from a shelf and uses it to beat up the agents. Unfortunately, one of them recovers quickly and tries to shoot Joe in the head. A drowsy Anna grabs the other agent's gun and opens fire to save Joe. Afterward, Joe gives her an injection that fully wakes her up and asks what's going on. Anna tells him the full story, explaining she fails to save Jane every time. She also reveals they've had this conversation a few times and they've even tried to fight the agents together, but they were killed in every run. Anna is afraid that Jane doesn't want to see her, but Joe thinks the boy is actually waiting for her. In simulation 21499, Anna and Joe are caught in a firefight with the agents again. Joe wants to try something different, so they climb out the window to make it to another floor. As they run through the corridors, Joe fights an agent hand to hand and volunteers to stay as a distraction so Anna can keep looking for her son. Anna runs into an empty apartment and more agents jump on her to capture her before a huge wave crashes through the window and throws them all back. Now free, Anna swims around to look for Jane, but she still can't find him, so she decides to go to the surface. The water is now high enough for her to reach the roof. When she opens an abandoned wardrobe, she finally finds an unconscious Jane. She immediately gives him the medicine, yet the boy doesn't react. Anna has a breakdown and apologizes for abandoning him so many times, but at that moment Jane wakes up and says she never abandoned him. When she said goodbye, she told him to wait in the wardrobe because she'd come back for him, and she's kept her promise. At the same time, it's revealed that the meteorites hit the rocket with Anna and severely wounded her. Before dying, she asked the director to use her mind for the simulation so she could be with Jane again. The scientists extracted her memories and uploaded them to their system, hoping this could help humanity. On the roof, the agents are approaching and a huge wave is about to cover the building. Anna gives Jane his goggles and tells him to swim, so he jumps into the water while the agents capture his mother. Another flashback shows that Jane and Hyun Mo's kid were babies printed by the company to develop the child AI, which explains why the agents insisted they could be left behind. They only needed the data to move on. Jane met Gwan after the experiment had already started, yet he agreed to be the boy's dad and even bonded with him. When Gwan died, his death impacted both Anna and Jane. In the present, the simulation is about to reset. Anna manages to free herself from the agent's grasp and jumps into the flood to join her son. After falling through data and swimming in the water, Anna resurfaces and finds Jane holding onto an antenna. She hugs him tightly and tells him they'll swim together before a wave brings them down. Since this, Anna helped Jisoo, assisted the pregnant lady, and stayed with Jane until the end. The system sees her lack of selfishness and finally considers the simulation successfully completed. The AIs for Anna and Jane are put in new printed bodies and sent to a planet to start a new society with humanity's memories. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.